everyone, good morning. This is your 2022 housing market predictions and 2022 California housing market predictions. I'm Tristen Campanella, and what is going to happen in the housing market in 2022? This is a huge question people are asking all over the country. Will there be a crash? Can prices continue to surge? Today, I'm going to give you information from housing market experts on what to expect in the housing market nationally and here locally in Southern California. In 2022, Americans will have a better chance to find a home, but you're still gonna face a competitive seller's market as first-time home buyer demand outmatches the inventory recovery. That means that we still are low in inventory and you will still have some issues buying a house. Additionally, with listing prices rising and mortgage rates expected to climb, 2022 will present a mixed bag of housing affordability, challenges, and opportunities. Whether the pandemic delays plans or creates new opportunities to make a move, Americans are poised for a whirlwind year of home buying in 2022. With more sellers expected to enter the market as buyer competition remains fierce, I anticipate strong home sales growth. Affordability is going to be top of mind. It's going to increasingly be challenging as interest rates and prices rise, so buyers do not wait. But remote work may expand buyer search areas and enable younger buyers to find their first homes sooner than they might have otherwise. So think about going outside of your radius of search areas and expanding that. In the comments below, you're going to find my forecast and housing market predictions on key trends that are going to shape your year ahead. Hey guys, I'm Tristen Campanella. I'm a top producing realtor, real estate investor who lives and works in San Diego. And on this channel, I'm gonna teach you everything you need to know about living in San Diego, real estate in San Diego, nationally housing market prices, so that you are confident and comfortable when making a decision that will change your life. So make sure to check the description for incredibly helpful links. I have people call me all the time. Please feel free to reach out. So guys, as we step into this housing market this year, we're going to continue to grow, but there may be some sanity coming our way. According to CNBC, the COVID-19 pandemic upended the home buying process. Historically low mortgage rates coupled with an inventory shortage created a red-hot market, as we all know, with houses selling within hours of being listed, often for well over asking price. Of course, no one has a crystal ball and knows what the future has in store, but the housing market experts tell CNBC that 2022 buyers can expect some similar trends in the past 2 years, two being elevated prices, low inventory, and fast turnaround. That said, although it will continue to be a seller's market, especially in the first half of this year, home values are expected to increase by double-digit percentage points according to Zillow. Zillow also predicts what you need to know about the housing market in 2022. The fast ascent of housing prices will likely slow, but no crash. I repeat, no crash. Why? There's just not enough homes for sale. Housing prices rose significantly in 2021, a nearly 20% rise, and in some areas 30%. And that fast pace will slow, but experts say prices will are likely to go up. The National Association of Realtors predicts housing market prices will climb at least 5.7% in 2022, and Realtor.com says it's more like 2.9%. Here in San Diego, expect to see between 5% and 10% housing growth at least. If more homes come on the market like we're expecting, that price will slow down a bit. And remember, buyers are having a little bit of whiplash right now from just the crazy frenzy in prices, and they are starting to take a little step back. To be fair, some markets may actually see prices fall. The Corelogic Market Risk Indicator, which looks at the health of housing markets across the country, predicts that Springfield, Massachusetts, Worcester, Massachusetts, and Modesto, California, for example, are at the highest risk for price decreases. So investors, that might be your spot. They're thinking about a 50 to 70% probability of a decline in home prices over the next 12 months, but not a crash, just a decline. Inventory is expected to remain scarce. Even before the pandemic, there was a low housing stock in the country. And the pandemic supply chain troubles and labor shortages have only made things worse. Though builders are really trying to ramp up production, inventory will remain scarce. If you're thinking about buying a new home, make sure that you check out my video on how to buy a new home because it's not quite as easy as it used to be. In fact, the number of homes actively listed for sale fell to a record low at the end of November, according to CNBC. Though there will likely be more listings in the spring and summer, as is typical, it is unlikely there will be enough to meet demand, according to Zillow research. Let's look at realtor.com. They expect inventory is to grow 0.3% on average in 2022. Guys, that's not a lot. While buyers have been eager in the last 2 years, sellers have been on and off. A rising share of homeowners this fall reported planning to sell a home in the next 12 months. This could signal an improvement in the inventory decline that has been a major challenge for the housing market. With 28% of homeowners choosing not to sell, indicating that the reason for doing so is because they just can't find a new home to buy, a pickup in our inventory could be self-reinforcing, drawing out other potential sellers as they find homes to buy. Rising new construction will eventually feed into this positive trend, but as well, at first, builders' pipelines got to catch up to the usually imbalance of already completed versus under construction versus not even started homes. So it's just going to take a minute to catch up. Completed new homes have recently made up half their usual share of all new home sales, while homes that are not started are twice as prevalent as usual. So there is an uptick. There is an uptick in builder activity, but they can only go so fast. So you got to wait for the construction process. And if you're thinking about buying a new home, you may not even get to see the home. Zillow forecast calls for 11% home value growth in 2022. That is down from the projected 19.5% in 2021. Appreciation, guys, is still going to go up, okay? So it's still going to be a strong year. Existing home sales are predicted to total a 6.3 million compared to an estimated 6.12 million this year. That would be the highest number of home sales in any year since 2006. So no crash, but highest home sales. Here's a caveat. The interest rate is going up. The Federal Reserve is expected to raise interest rates a few times in 2022, which means mortgage rates will likely rise. Both Redfin and Realtor predict a 30-year fixed mortgage will reach 3.6% by the end of 2022, which is very different than your 3.3%. So make sure to also check out a video about how that's going to affect you. If you have a 0.3 difference in your mortgage, it can truly affect the amount that you can afford. Because of that, affordability is going to be affected, and Realtor.com predicts home prices will advance at a more moderate pace, but will continue to set records. Home sale prices are set to continue to rise, which will mean notching a decade-long streak of year-over-year increases in early 2022. The rise in home prices, which began in 2012, has proceeded consistently, if unevenly. Following the pickup from the post-recession lows, home prices logged more than a year of double-digit growth in 2013, but since that time, the pace of increase has been a more modest 4%. That's a more normal market, to 7%. That all changed in the pandemic. There was this big frenzy, and now we have these double-digit increases. So we're going to continue to see it grow, but just not at this breakneck speed, especially as mortgage rates are rising. So if you are thinking about buying, you really need to get in sooner rather than later to save yourself some money. If you are thinking about selling, really consider thinking about doing that in the first half of this year before more people start putting your home in the market. Looking ahead, with economic growth expected to sustain the purchasing power of eager home buyers, we do expect median home price sales to continue to increase, rising 2.9% in 2022, a notably more moderate pace than it was before. Again, builders are really trying to ramp up production, but here in San Diego, land is scarce and we just don't have a lot of places to build. So they're also dealing with labor shortages and all construction material shortages as well. Again, we're seeing affordability is going to be our big challenge as inventory is still lacking and mortgage rates are going to continue to grow nationwide. Sellers you're going to keep the upper hand, especially in the first half of this year. The usual seasonal cool down in the housing market is reappearing after we didn't have one for all of the pandemic. So we definitely saw a slowing down in home sales in the end of 2021. Homes are staying on the market a few days longer than they did during the summer, and more sellers are cutting their price. So it's very important, home sellers, to price your home correctly. Zillow economists expect these metrics to trend slightly cooler in 2022, but don't mistake that for a buyer's market. The market forces that have given sellers the upper hand over the past 2 years or so, tight supply after years of underbuilding, and elevated demand due to remote work, U.S. demographics, and low mortgage rates will persist next year as well. So continue to see some bidding wars, especially on homes that are desirable, meaning fully remodeled and ready to go. And as the market heats up during the spring and the summer shopping season, you're going to get more bidding wars. Rentals, guys, are going to be in high demand because home values are rising, and that's impacting the rental market as well. After a slowdown in the early months of the pandemic, rent prices came roaring back, especially in what were previously some of the most affordable markets. As rising costs make it harder to save for a down payment, expect demand for larger rental homes to increase, including single-family homes, as families have to stay in the rental market because they can't afford to buy. So if you're a real estate investor raising rents, it may be the right time. Rents are expected to outpace home price growth. So if you are thinking, should I rent or should I buy, it may be more affordable to buy a home than it is to rent a home. In larger metropolitan areas with many jobs that remained remote, we're expecting below average growth to continue. More people are moving to the suburbs. At the same time, secondary markets saw rents surge as remote workers took advantage of their flexibility to relocate and save on monthly housing costs. So places like Mammoth, places like Big Bear, those places have gone crazy. Nationwide rent growth from a minimal double-digit pace in 2021 to a substantial progress and increase towards the end of it. Vacancy rate is near historic lows, so it's very hard to get a rental too. So that's something else to think about if you're thinking about renting or buying. In 2022, we expect the rental trend to fuel more rent growth. At a national level, we forecast rent growth of 7.1% in the next 12 months. That means your landlord may be increasing your rent, then that's gonna be totally acceptable. As the rents are going to continue to rebound from slower growth during the pandemic. So our main takeaways: searchers are dreaming big, but budget realities and for sale availability might mean smaller homes prevail, with the suburbs still the most popular and at least occasional remote work likely an option. Homebuyers are likely to continue to prefer larger homes that provide space for working from home from time to time, as well as versatility, as the whole work from home thing is still continuing. At the same time, rising affordability challenges may cause some homebuyers to decide to sacrifice space to make a home purchase work with their budget. I highly recommend you get into the market and then figure out what you want to do instead of waiting. Notably, newly constructed single-family homes have begun to get larger after declining over the last few years with more at-home workspaces. However, the typical active single-family home for sale has started to trend smaller in recent months due to affordability. Watch How to Search for a Home Like a Pro. That's a great video for you. First-time homebuyers are still going to face that uphill journey. Homebuyers will need to be successful in the 2022 housing market by planning. If we're going to see homeownership rate begin to climb again, in many respects, it may still be that uphill journey given the slightly better but still limited for sale inventory environment. Your high prices and rising mortgage rates are going to push your monthly costs higher, so it's going to be more important than ever to really think about what you need. A competitive labor market, however, should help offset some of these higher costs in the form of higher paychecks. Additionally, extended workplace flexibility may enable first-time homebuyers to explore more affordable housing markets that wouldn't be an option if daily commute was expected. The sheer size of the population at or near typical first-time homebuyer age will mean plenty of potential from this group to make an impact in the 2022 housing market. Check out my next video, what is the most affordable areas in San Diego to live? And how can you prepare? There's a link below to contact me so we can get you ready to buy a home this year. You really want to consider your home budget before you embark on your home search. You can use affordability calculators and things like that. Home sellers, this is speaking directly to you. Very important that you are going to have your home ready to sell so you can get the top price for it. The bottom line for home buyers, no matter what the calculator says, make sure it feels comfortable to you. Being house poor is no fun. Additionally, honing a list of must-haves versus nice-to-haves can help shoppers keep your search focused. And home buyers, you can use personalized tools that your online search is dialed in to the homes that are the best fit. Nothing will change or help you the most as much as getting out there, looking at homes in person. What will 2022 be like for home sellers? Homeowners who are ready to sell in 2022 are in a good position. Home prices are likely to notch a decade-long streak of annual gains early in the year, and the value of homes is at a record $34.9 trillion according to Fed data as mid-2021, and likely to continue higher with next release of new data. So we're going to continue to see prices going up. Even as inventory will grow, meaning some sellers are going to start to face competition, well-priced homes in good condition will continue to sell quickly in many markets, especially desirable markets here. And for sellers who have owned their homes for a while, this will likely mean that you're going to walk away from the transaction with a healthy amount of cash. While surveys show that many sellers recognize the advantage they hold in the current housing market, other data shows that it's the challenge of buying, like where are you going to go next, that is holding some people back. More than 1 in 4 homeowners are choosing not to sell, reported this in a recent survey by realtor.com. The sellers poised to take advantage of this market are also the ones who don't need to buy immediately. So maybe you have a rental property you're moving to, maybe you're leaving the state. Those who can sell second homes or vacation homes, you're going to cash in. But with some offices opening back up or other companies shift to indefinite remote work policies, homeowners in vacation markets may find a notably cooler market. So things probably will cool down in those second home markets. When 2021 vacation homes surged, right, and Airbnb surged. So how can you prepare as a seller? The first step for sellers will be to explore your options for selling. There's many different commission levels. You can do first-time home sales. You've done this before. You may be surprised to find out there are a ton of ways to sell your home, many more ways than there was before. So make sure you explore your options so that you can choose the best way to sell your home. Choices include cash sales with an iBuyer program, which we offer, a for sale by owner or flat fee commission just to list your house in the MLS, and traditional sales with different commission rates. That generally helps sellers get more money. So traditional listing with a realtor generally gets you more money for your home. For many sellers, this is going to be listing your home with a real estate agent who can showcase your home to the market, getting a wide range of potential buyers, getting you the highest price. 2022 is going to be a little tough for renters, so if you're thinking about renting, it may be worth having the conversation about renting versus buying and what would be the best for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Tristen. I'm always here to help you understand the housing market, both nationally and here in Southern California.